Hi, I'm Katie Melua and you're watching Music Rama TV. It's not like I'm against major record companies or anything like that. I just like the independent setup. From an artistic point of view, I don't know, you get to know the people that work there. There's less people that you have to deal with, so it becomes a bit more personal. And so, I don't know, I think people working at independent record companies also kind of, are maybe a bit more passionate because maybe they have a bit more to prove, which is, a strange way to look at it. But I don't know, I just like that personal touch that you get as an artist when you work with an independent record company. Well, I never realised I wanted to become a singer, but I realised I wanted to do music when I was about 15, 16. And, the difference is, I suppose, I started writing and producing my own home demo tapes and just absolutely fell in love with it. Just wouldn't want to do anything else. And then I went to music college to study a course in music, which did everything from singing to studying music history, theory, producing, working in the record company. And it was from going there that I realised that singing was one of my favourite things to do. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a jazz artist. I'm definitely influenced by a lot of other, real jazz artists. So like Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday, they've always really inspired me. I'm kind of more, I'd say I'm more into blues these days. Yeah, it does actually. Georgian folk music is very passionate and very very emotive. Also, a lot of it is about subtlety, about singing in a subtle way and not kind of just sort of screaming. Well, I think there are songs in the past that have definitely, influenced people and changed things in the world. Something like Masters of War by Bob Dylan, or The Hurricane. So it is possible. I think today it's probably much harder because, there aren't many artists who have the, the real power to, reach a huge mass audience. They're not the artists that, talk about politics. They often, sing about love. Well, yeah, but that's life. That happens all the time. I don't think you can worry about it. I think, words are kind of, intelligent or advanced enough to sort of, or poetic enough to mean something different to whoever's listening to it. And, ultimately as a songwriter, you just sort of are giving your opinion. That could be a really extreme wrong opinion, but that's all you're doing. And people can criticise you for it, but, that's music. I mean, there's many things, but then there's also lots of really amazing things that go on in the world. Let me see. I suppose what's frustrating is often that, what you see on the news isn't the full picture. And there's certain sort of conflicts that do get in the headlines, and then there's other conflicts that never make it into the headlines, and I find that frustrating, that it's kind of, up to the media to decide what is brought to the public's attention. You just feel it. You just feel it, and you take it home and you listen to it in the car, and you listen to it in the sort of your bedroom system, and you play it to people, and often I find, yeah, so taking it away from the studio and listening to it in different environments, that's when you can tell, oh, it still needs this or it still needs that. And then the point when you don't say that is when you know that it's finished. Yeah, it's pretty unusual, kind of cool. I love the experience of doing the deepest gig ever, but it was never done for the purpose of getting in the Guinness Book of Records. That was kind of like an afterthought, but yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, in many ways it was. The safety training for it was pretty crazy, but in another way we would just, once we were down there, it was just like doing any other gig. The acoustics were amazing though, they were very different. No, not at all. It was, in terms of sort of, what's the word, like the quality of life, it was better than in Georgia, because when I lived in Georgia, we just left the Soviet Union and it was going through a civil war, so, I remember things like queuing for bread when I was like, 6, and you didn't have to do that in Northern Ireland. So no, it wasn't scary, but you were always aware of the troubles. They were always somewhere at the back of your mind, but I never personally experienced any sort of conflict directly myself.